In 2004, we set up a support group focus website so that we could provide a lifeline, or a contact point rather, for other families that were affected by trisomy 18, just so that they could have a point of contact and just to understand that they're not so isolated, and that there's a much larger community out there with this condition. And I then realized that to make a real difference in South Africa, it was necessary to look at the systemic level and to look broader than just one condition, realizing that there's just a lack of medical genetic services in South Africa. They are inadequate, meaning that so many of those that are affected, if they are lucky enough to be diagnosed, many don't have access to the relevant services, and we don't have a lot of the basic services that we require in South Africa. Research is basically the foundation of all of our work at Rare Diseases South Africa, because any health system, and particularly the South African health system, which is based on the UK system, is an evidence-based system. And so policymakers, God bless them, they will only allocate resources to a particular health issue if there is evidence or empiric data to support that and to inform the decision making. And research plays a huge part in that. And rare diseases and most of the common congenital disorders in South Africa, we do not have data for them. There is a huge data deficit. And if we cannot demonstrate that there is a problem, we cannot convince policymakers to invest and allocate resources to those issues. In the world of rare diseases, there are a number of statistics and numbers that are thrown around, but nobody can ever find the source of that. And as a scientist, it's imperative that you have that solid basis so that you can ground the information that you're pushing out in facts. And I think that gives us a lot more credibility. So the 1 in 15 is really interesting because I'd worked on it previously, and it's not a number that we've pulled out of the air. It's a solid, robust number that we have. And what it demonstrates is because globally it's 1 in 33. And so we've got twice as many people are impacted by rare diseases and congenital disorders in South Africa. So I think it makes it so relatable, because everybody has 15 people in their sphere their sphere of influence, whether they're in it's a group of friends or a family or a class at school or at university, and I guarantee that everybody you will speak to, they may not realize it, but in their sphere of influence, they will know somebody with a rare disease or a congenital disorder or both, if it's not themselves that are affected.